So how are you all tonight? This is what day 6 maybe day 7. Let me just quickly look that up on my computer because I am keeping track of it. So day 7 today. So day 7. Sorry about that. I had to check that out. Just to clear up a few things before we get started today. The Bible that I'm reading from is my Bible that I bought a couple of weeks ago, and it is a New King James Version. I was trying to give you a Bible verse every day from the King James Version, but as you've seen in previous videos, I struggled to get my tongue wrapped around some of the names, let alone me getting my tongue wrapped around some of the words in the King James. So I went out and bought myself a really cool New King James Bible, which can be read in 1 year, which is what we're doing. Now, I have listened to the Bible twice, the Bible in 1 year twice, so I have done that. So the Bible's not unfamiliar to me, plus I grew up a Christian and all that sort of stuff, but never really done Bible study or anything. But so when I'm reading this to you, it is, yes, I've heard it before, but it's actually sinking in differently this way. So yesterday's reading, if you can remember that, it was Genesis 19 to 22, and some of the things that happened in yesterday's stuff was quite horrifying to me. So go back and watch yesterday's video to get my reactions, because when I'm reading these to you, I haven't read them before today. So as in, I haven't read them earlier and then recorded it. This is recording straight from me reading for the first time. So you get my real reaction. So I was actually quite horrified with all of yesterday's reading. There's some of the things that they did. I just can't. Go back and listen and see my reaction. So let's see where we'll go tonight. Tonight we are reading Genesis 23 to 27. So our devotional is from Genesis 24:58, and it says, I will go. So when Rebekah was asked to travel to a faraway place to become the wife of Isaac, her words were, I will go. This response revealed a lot about her trust in God. I will go. I will go with a stranger. I will go even though I'll probably never see my family again. I will go, not knowing what's going to happen, if I'll even ask, like Isaac. What faith Rebekah exhibited. Is there an act of faith you are postponing, even if just for a few days? Any decision you are putting off. Every step of faith is a giant step towards the center of God's will. More towards God, and you move towards God, and you will receive abundant blessings. It seems so, and the prayer that goes along with this devotional is, it seems like you ask a lot of me sometimes, Father, with no visible guarantees. Please teach me about you today and help me trust in your promised blessings. Help me move towards you. When I asked to exercise my faith in you, Lord, I want my answer to be, I will go. Amen. That's really cool, because there's lots of stuff that I've done in life and I've just done not knowing why. I've just literally followed the doors that God's opened for me. And I do plan on recording some testimonials to tell you all about them at another time. But yeah, I always say I will go. Sometimes I resist a little bit, but most of the time it's just I will go. So let's get into today's reading. As I said, Genesis 23 to 27. Now let's see if Sonia can be as traumatized today as what she was yesterday. So starting with Genesis 23. I don't like the heading of this one. It says Sarah's death and burial. It's not a good way to start. Sarah lived 127 years. These were the years of the life of Sarah. I want to live till I'm 120. I've already told God that. That's my goal, to live till I'm 120. So Sarah died in Kirath Abra, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. Then Abraham stood up from before his dead and spoke to the sons of Heth, saying, I am a foreigner and a visitor among you. Give me property for a burial place among you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the sons of Heth answered Abraham, saying to him, Hear us, my lord. You are a mighty prince amongst us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our burial places. None of us will withhold from you his burial place, that you may bury your dead. Why are they saying your dead? Why can't they say my wife? Anyway. Then Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, the sons of Heth, and he spoke with them, saying, If it is your wish that I bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and meet with Ephron, the son of Zorah, for me, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, but which he has, which is at the end of his field. Let him give it to me at the full price as property for a burial place amongst you. Now Ephron dwelt amongst the sons of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the presence of the sons of Heth and all who entered at the gate of his city, saying, No, my lord, hear me. I give you the field and the cave that is in it. I give it to you in the presence of the sons of my people. I give it to you. Bury your dead. Then Abraham bowed himself down before the people of the land, and he spoke to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, saying, If you will give it, please hear me. I will give you money for the field. Take it from me, and I will bury my dead there. Oh my God, just come to an agreement. And Ephron answered Abram, saying to him, My lord, listen to me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between you and me? So bury your dead. And Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out the silver for Ephron, which he had named in the hearing of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, currency of the merchants. So the field of Ephron, which is in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field and the cave which was in it, and all of the trees that were in the field, which were within all the surrounding borders, were deeded to Abraham as a possession in the presence of the sons of Heth, before all who went in it the gate of his city. And after this Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. So the field and the cave and that is in it were deeded to Abraham by the sons of Heth as property for the burial place. So chapter 24. Okay, so chapter 23 wasn't as horrific. Sarah died, they negotiated land, and they buried her. Let's look at what chapter 24 is going to be about. Now Abraham was old, well advanced in age, and the Lord blessed Abraham in all things. So Abraham said to the older servant of his house, who ruled over all that he had, Please put your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by the Lord of the God of heaven and the God of earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of that Canaanites, among whom I dwell. But you shall go to my country and to my family and take a wife for my son. Can someone explain to me why the servant had to put their hand under his thigh. Okay, we'll just leave that there. But anyway, they're going back to his country to get a wife for Isaac. And the servant said to him, "Perhaps the woman will not be willing to follow me to this land. Must I take your son back to the land from which you came?" But Abraham said to him, "Beware that you do not take my son back there. The Lord God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my family, and who spoke to me and swore to me, saying, 'To your descendants I give this land,' he will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. And if the woman is not willing to follow you, then you will be released from this oath. Only do not take my son back there." So the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his master, and swore to him concerning this matter. Oh, man. Okay. Then the servant took 10 of his master's camels and departed, for all his master's goods were in his hands. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nanor. And he and his camels kneeled down outside the city by a well of water at evening time, and the time when women go out to draw water. Then he said, "O Lord God of my master Abraham, please give me success this day, and show kindness to my master Abraham. Behold, here I stand by the well of the water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. Now let it be that the young woman to whom I say, 'Please let down your pitcher and that I may drink,' and she says, 'Drink, and I will also give your camels a drink,' let her be the one you have appointed for your servant Isaac. And by this I will know that you have shown kindness in my master." And it happened before he had finished speaking, and behold, Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel, son of Milach, the wife of Nanor, Abraham's brother, came out with her pitcher. Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel, son of Milach, the wife of Nanor, Abraham's brother. So Nanor is Abraham's brother. And Milach is the wife. No, Bethuel is the wife to the son of Milach. Oh, I'm very confused with that. Sorry. I'll keep reading. Now the young woman was very beautiful to behold, a virgin. No man had known her, and she went down to the well, filled her pitcher, and came up. And the servant ran to meet her and said, "Please let me drink a little water from your pitcher." So she said, "Drink, my lord." Then she quickly let her pitcher down to her hand and gave him a drink. And when she had finished giving him a drink, she said, "I will draw water for your camels also, until they have finished drinking." Then she quickly emptied her pitcher into the trough, ran back to the well to draw water, and drew for all his camels. And the man, wondering at her, remained silent so as to know whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. So it was, when the camels had finished drinking, that the man took a golden nose ring weighing half a shekel, and 2 bracelets for her wrists weighing 10 shekels of gold, and said, "Whose daughter are you? Tell me, please, is there room in your father's house for us to lodge?" So she said to him, "I am the daughter of Bethuel, Milach's son, who bore to Nanor." Moreover, she said to him, "We have both straw and feed enough, and room to lodge." Then the man bowed down his head and worshipped the Lord. And he said, Blessed be the Lord of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his mercy and his truth towards my master. As for me, being on the way to the Lord led me to the house of my master's brethren. So the young woman rang and told her mother's household these things. Now Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban, and Laban ran out to the man by the well. So it came to pass, when he saw the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrists, and when he heard the words his sister Rebekah saying, Thus the man spoke to me, that he went to the man, and there he stood by the camels at the well, and he said, Come in, O blessed of the Lord. Why do you stand outside? For I have prepared the house and a place for the camels. Then the man came to the house, and he unloaded the camels and provided straw and feed for the camels and water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. Food was set before him to eat, but he said, I will not eat until I have told about my errand. And he said, Speak on. So he said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has blessed my master greatly, and he has become great, and he has given him flocks and herds, silver and gold, male and female servants, and camels and donkeys. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master when she was old, and to him he has given all that he has. Now my master made me swear, saying, You shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. But you shall go to my father's house and to my family, and take a wife for my son. And I said to my master, Perhaps the woman will not follow me. But he said, The Lord before whom I walk will send his angel with you and prosper your way. And you shall take a wife for my son from my family and from my father's house. You will be clear from this oath when you arrive among my family. For if they will not give her to you, then you will be released from my oath. And this day I come to the well and said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, if you will now prosper the way in which I go, behold, I stand by the well of the water, and it shall come to pass, when the virgin comes out and to draw water, and I say to her, Please give me a little water from your pitcher to drink. And she says to me, Drink, and I will draw for your camels also. Let her be the woman whom the Lord had appointed for my master's son. But before I had finished speaking in my heart, there was Rebekah coming out with her pitcher on her shoulder, and she went down to the well and drew water. And I said to her, Please let me drink. And she made haste and let her pitcher down from her shoulder, and said, Drink, and I will give your camels drink also. So I drank, and she gave the camels a drink also. Then I asked her and said, Whose daughter are you? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, Nanor's son, whom Milcah bore to him. So Milcah's the mum. Okay, Milcah's the mum, Bethel's the dad. They belong to Nanor. No, they belong, to Nanor. So I put a nose ring on her nose and the bracelets on her wrists, and I bowed my head and worshipped the Lord, and blessed the Lord of my master Abraham, who had led me in the way of the truth, to take the daughter of my master's brother for his son. Now if you will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The thing comes from the Lord. We cannot speak to you either bad or good. Here is Rebekah before you. Take her and go, and let her be your master's son's wife, as the Lord has spoken." And it came to pass, when Abraham's servant heard the words, that he worshipped the Lord, bowing himself to the earth. Then the servant brought out jewelry of silver, jewelry of gold, and clothing, and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave precious things to her brother, to her mother, and he and the men who were with him ate and drank and stayed all night. Then they rose in the morning, and he said, "Send me away to my master." But her brother and her mother said, "Let the young woman stay with us a few days, at least 10. After that she may go." And he said to them, "Do not hinder me, since the Lord has prospered my way. Send me away so that I may go to my master." So they said, "We will call the young woman and ask her personally." Then they called Rebekah and said to her, "Will you go with this man?" And she said, "I will go." Can I just butt in there for a minute? When they said, "We will call the young woman," the thing that popped into my head was they didn't have telephones back then. Telephones weren't created until like after Jesus died. Like, how did they call her? Obviously, they somehow sent a message to get her, but anyway, sorry, had to interrupt there. So she said, "I will go." So they sent away Rebekah their sister and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men, and they blessed Rebekah and said to her, "Our sister, may you become the mother of thousands and of 10,000s, and may your descendants possess the gates of those who hate them." That's a bit weird. Then Rebekah and her maids arose, and they rode on the camels and followed the man. So the servant took Rebekah and departed. Now Isaac came from the way of Beer Lahai Roi, for he dwelt in the south. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field in the evening, and he lifted his eyes and looked, and there the camels were coming. Then Rebekah lifted her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she dismounted from her camel, for she had said to the servant, "Who is the man walking in the field to meet us?" What is the name of that movie? Reminds me of a movie where the man's walking across the field and the girl, anyway, I can't remember. Sorry. So, who is the man walking in the field to meet us? The servant said, "It is my master." So she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. Then Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and he took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Sorry. Right, so chapter 25. Abraham again took a wife. Really? How old do you reckon Abraham was at this stage? If Sarah was 127, Abraham's like, Anyway, she bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan begat Seba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Asherim, Lethshum, and Can they just have them normal names like Matthew and Ben and Robert? And Abraham gave all that he had so to Isaac, but Abraham gave gifts to the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, and while he was still living he sent them eastward, away from Isaac his son, to the country of the east. This is the sum of the years of Abraham's life which he lived, 175 years. There we go. That answered my question. Then Abraham breathed his last and died in the good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of where Sarah was buried, which is before Mamre, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar the Hittite, in the field which Abraham purchased from the sons of Heth. Oops. There Abraham was buried, and Sarah his wife. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt at Beer Lahai Roi. Now this is a genealogy, and Sonia's going to have to get her tongue around half of these words that I can't pronounce. I apologize in advance. Now this is the genealogy of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar, the Egyptian Sarah's maidservant, bore to Abraham. And these were the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth, then Kedar, Adbeel, Mitshem, Mishma, Jumah, Massa, Hadar, Tema, Jether, Nabish, Kedemah. These were the sons of Ishmael, and these were the names by their towns and their settlements, 12 princes according to their nations. So every time they were born, they were created a city. I wonder if all these cities still exist. These were the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years, and he breathed his last and died and was gathered to his people. They dwelt from Havilah as far as Shur, which is east of Egypt, as you go towards the Assyria. He died in the presence of all his brethren. This is the genealogy of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah as wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padam Aram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. Now Isaac pleaded with the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord granted his plea, and Rebekah his wife conceived. But the children struggled together within her, and she said, "If all is well, why am I like this?" So she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said to her, "2 nations are in your womb, 2 peoples shall be separated from your body." Ooh, she's having twins. "One people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger." Right. So when her days were fulfilled for her to give birth, indeed there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red. He was like a hairy garment all over. So they called him Eshu. Afterwards his brother came out, and his hand took hold of his shoe's heel, so that his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. So the boys grew, and Eshu was a skillful hunter, a man of the field. But Jacob was a mild man, dwelling in tents, and Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his game, and Rebekah loved Jacob. Oh, what's going to happen? Now Jacob cooked a stew, and Esau came in from the field, and he was weary. And Esau said to Jacob, "Please feed me with the same raw red stew, for I am weary. Therefore his name was called Edom. But Jacob said, "Sell me your birthright as of this day." What? Esau was firstborn, so and Esau said, "Look, I am about to die, so what is this birthright to me?" Then Jacob said, "Swear to me as of this day." So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. So Jacob wasn't going to feed him until he let him say he was the oldest? What is with this time? So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and stew of lentils. Then he ate and drank, arose and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So chapter 26. There was a famine in the land besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Amalek, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. Then the Lord appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Live in the land of which I shall tell you. Dwell in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. For you and your descendants I give all these lands, and I will perform the oath which I swore to Abraham your father, and I will make your descendants multiply as the stars of heaven. I will give you your descendants all these lands, and in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked about his wife, and he said, No. And the men of the place asked about his wife, and he said, "She is my sister," for he was afraid to say, "She is my wife," because he thought, "Lest the men of the place kill me for Rebekah, because she is beautiful to behold." Now it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked through a window and saw, and there was Isaac, showing endearment to Rebekah his wife. Then Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Quite obviously she is your wife. So how could you say she is my sister?" Exactly. How could he say that? And Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us? One of the people might soon have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us." So Abimelech charged all his people, saying, "He who touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." I'm sure that happened in Abraham's time as well. Then Isaac sowed in the land and reaped in the same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him, and the man began to prosper and continued prospering until he became very prosperous. For he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and a great number of servants. So the Philistines envied him. Now the Philistines had stopped all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, and they had filled them with earth. And Amalek said to Isaac, "Go away from us. You are much mightier than we." Then Isaac departed from there and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac dug again the wells of the water which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham. He called them by the names which his father had called. Also Isaac's servants dug in the valley and found a well of running water there. But the herdsmen of Gerar quarrelled with Isaac's herdmen. The water is ours. So he called the name of the well Ezek, because they quarrelled with him. Then they dug another well, and they quarrelled over that one also. So he called its name Sitnah. And he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called its name Rehoboth, because he said, For now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. Then he went up from there to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared to him the same night and said, I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not fear, for I am with you. I will bless you and multiply your descendants for my servant Abraham's sake. So he built an altar there and called on the name of the Lord, and he pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants dug a well. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Azarath, one of his friends, and Pichol, the commander of his army. And Isaac said to him, Why have you come to me, since you hate me and have sent me away from you? But they said, We have certainly seen that the Lord is with you. So we said, Let there now be an oath between us, between you and us, and let us make a covenant. With you, that you will do us no harm, since we have not touched you, and since we have done nothing to you but good, and have sent you away in peace. You are now the blessed of the Lord. So he made them a feast, and they ate and drank. Then they arose early in the morning and swore an oath with one another, and Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. Came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him about the well which they had dug, and said to him, We have found water. So he called Sheba to have, therefore the name of the city of Beersheba, to this day. When Eshu was 40 years old, he took as wives Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basmath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and they were a grief of mind to Isaac and Rebekah. He took 2 wives and upset his parents. Okay, chapter 27. Bear with me, this is a long one today. I'm really sorry. I hope you're all still listening. Now it came to pass when Isaac was old, and his eyes were so dim that he could not see, that he called Eshu his older son, and said to him, My son. And he answered him, Here I am. Then he said, Behold, now I am old, I do not know the day of my death. Now therefore please take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out of the field and hunt game for me, and make... Oh, I know this story. Oh. Okay, sorry. Getting ahead of myself. Sorry. I'm sorry. And make me savory food, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die. Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went into the field to hunt game and bring it. So Rebekah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, Indeed, I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me game and make savory food for me, that I may eat it and bless you in the presence of the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to what I command you. Go now to the flock and bring me from you. Go now the flock and bring me from, their two choice kids of the goats, and I will make savory food from them for your father, as such as he loves. Then you shall take it to your father, and he may eat it, and that may bless you before his death. Why do people have to deceive you? And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, Look, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man. And remember, he was born with hair all over his body. Okay. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall be a deceiver to him, and I shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, Let your curse be on me, my son, only obey my voice, and go get them for me. And he went and he got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made a savory food, such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the choice clothes of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and made them, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats on his hands and the smooth part of his necks. Wow, you see, like the skin of a goat is different to, yeah, okay. So he went to his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who are you, my son? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you told me. Please arise, sit and eat. Wouldn't their voices be different though? Wouldn't they sound different? Okay, sorry. But, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you told me. Please arise, sit and eat of my game, that your soul may bless me. But Isaac said to his son, How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord your God brought it to me. Isaac said to Jacob, Please come near, that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not. So Jacob went near to Isaac, his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's. See, Isaac's not stupid. The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau, because he had the goat skin on him. And he did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him. Then he said, Are you really my son Esau? He said, I am. He said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's game, so that my soul may bless you. So he brought it near him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, Come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelt the smell of his clothing and blessed him and said, Surely the smell of my son is like the smell of a field, which the Lord has blessed. Therefore may God give you of a dew of heaven, of a fatness of the earth, the plenty of grain and wine. Let peoples serve you, and nations bow down to you. But be master over your brethren, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be those who bless you. Jacob was very deceiving. God was watching this. What do you think? Now it happened, as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had scarcely gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. He also had made savory food and brought it to his father, and said to his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's game, that your soul may bless me. And his father Isaac said to him, Who are you? So he said, I am your son, your firstborn, Esau. Then Isaac trembled exceedingly and said, Who? Where is the one who hunted game and brought it to me? I ate all of it before you came, and I have blessed him, and indeed he shall be blessed. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried. Whoops. Just knocking over my microphone. He cried with an exceedingly great, bitter cry, and said to his father, Bless me also, O my father. But he said, Your brother came with deceit, and has taken away your blessing. So he made him give away his birthright, and now he's taken away his blessing. Jacob is not a very nice person. And Esau said, Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, see? And now he has taken away my blessing. And he said, Have you not reserved a blessing for me? Then Isaac answered and said to Esau, Indeed, I have made him your master, and all his brethren I have given to him as servants with grain and wine. I have sustained him. What shall I do now for you, my son? And Esau said to his father, Have you only one blessing, my father? Bless me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Then Isaac his father answered and said to him, Behold, your dwelling shall be of fatness of the earth, and of dew of heaven from above. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. And it shall come to pass, when you become restless, that you shall break his yoke from your neck. What does all that mean? So she becomes his slave. Okay, anyway. So Esau hated Jacob, rightly so. Sorry, God, I know we're not meant to hate people, but that's really bad. So Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. Ooh. And the words of Esau, her oldest son, were told to Rebekah. So she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, still thinking of a telephone, called Jacob, Surely your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you by intending to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice. Arise, flee to my brother Laban in Haran, and stay with him a few days until your brother's fury turns away, until your brother's anger turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereaved also with you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heath. If Jacob takes a wife of the daughters of Heath, like those who are the daughters of the land, what good will my life be to me? Okay, that's the end. Genesis, what did I say we were reading? Genesis 23 to 27. That was a long read. I've been doing it for nearly an hour, so I'm sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed today's reading, and I will be back here tomorrow. So God bless you all.